Well, hello, Divi Nation. Welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. And today in this use case live stream, we're going to be showing you how you can create a complete sticky timeline layout in Divi. Don't forget to check the video description for more info on this use case. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started. Well, hopefully you're having a great day, night, morning, wherever you are. Let us know, well, first say hello and let us know where you're from in the comments. And actually first, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay and the live stream's coming in clear for you guys, so I'll know that we are good to go. Let's see. Hello, Planet Sounds. Welcome. Optimized Speech. Hello, hello. Welcome. Of course, as we go along, feel free to answer or ask any questions you may have, and I'll try to get to those as we go along. All right. Okay. Hello, Henk from the Netherlands. Awesome. Ashraf, hello. I got a smiley face, I think. That's a good sign. All right. Welcome. Seve, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, David from France. Hello. Roxanne gave me a thumbs up, and so I'm thinking the stream's coming in okay, so we're good to go. Welcome Kamal from the UK. Aravelto from Brazil. And Miguel, welcome. Hola. So just to give you a heads up of where we're going today with this tutorial, this is a sticky vertical timeline layout. And the content that we're using today is a gallery, as you can see. This is an image gallery. And we're organizing these images by month. Here's my month column here. It's got December. And then the year over here, the 2020. And as I scroll down, you'll see it stays stuck until we get to the next month. And then when we get to the next year, the year changes. So the month will remain sticky, as well as the year whenever it's appropriate. So it's a great way to categorize your content in a nice layout. Of course, this has a versatile, it has many applications, I should say. You could use it for a history page or a history section on your about page. You could use it for, I don't know, a resources page to categorize your resources or downloads or updates, things like that. So this, just to kind of give you a heads up of what this may look like on mobile. So as you can see, still looks great on mobile. I'll show you, if we have time, how to optimize it for mobile. I know this is actually the most tricky part of this layout, but the initial functionality of the sticky elements and all that are super easy to do with Divi's built-in sticky options, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's where we're going. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started. We're going to be starting with a blank slate here, a brand new page, building on the front end with Divi. And as those of you who are trickling in, joining us, if you are just joining us today, we're going to be creating a vertical sticky timeline in Divi. So all right. Welcome, Steve, Eddie. Yep. So So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we have a default section already. We're going to add a column structure. We're going to do this, I believe it's like 2/5 or 2/5 and 3/5, something like that. Layout, column structure. And the first thing we're going to add is a text module. And then we'll optimize the row and the columns a bit later. But first thing we'll do is add a text module, and we want to create our heading. So we're creating the heading section. Just to go back to our preview here, that's this sticky bar at the top with our timeline on the left and the gallery on the right, just to kind of keep it at the forefront, letting users know what you're viewing. So the first thing we're going to add is the text timeline. And we're going to optimize or style that text a bit. Just going to use the Oxygen font. And let's make it bold, uppercase. And we're going to increase that size to 50 pixels. And then on the tablet, we're going to do 30. And then on mobile, we're going to do all the way down to 18. Don't have much room to spare on mobile, so we got to make sure it's nice and tight. All right, let's go back to my desktop view. And we're going to do a line height of 1em, basically the exact same height of the actual text. So, and then the text alignment, we're going to actually align it to the right. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's do some padding. I'm going to add a little bit of padding to the top of that text module, 5 pixels. And we're going to save that out. All right, so that's our first side of the heading with our timeline text. To create the one on the right, we're just going to copy and paste, or I'm just going to duplicate it and drag it over. All right, so I'm going to open up that duplicate here, and let's go ahead and change the text to say gallery. And then the text alignment, we're going to have to adjust that. But first, let's give it a nice color. Paste in that nice, almost maroonish color. And then we're going to make sure and adjust the alignment to the left, because we want it to kind of hug each side of those columns there. And to make sure that this alignment stays left on tablet and phone, I'm just going to make sure and have that set on tablet and phone as well. Okay. All right, let's jump in and optimize our row really quickly. We're going to give it a custom gutter width, so go to sizing and then use custom gutter width, and we're going to bring it down to 1 because I don't want any spacing in between the columns. We're going to add that spacing with some custom padding. So if you're ever wanting to have more control over the spacing, if you're not happy with those gutter widths, those default gutter width settings of 1, 2, and 3, and 4, you can always just bring it down to 1 and then add it yourself with either some padding or some margin to those columns. So the width, I'm going to change it to 100%. And then the max width, let's do 1280. And I think just make sure and update the padding. We don't need all that default padding. Let's change it to 10 pixels on the top and bottom. And to make sure that this column layout doesn't break or stack upon on mobile to like a single column, we're going to add a custom CSS snippet to utilize the flex display flex property. So we're just going to type in display flex, and then I'm going to do flex wrap, no wrap. So make sure that it doesn't stack upon one another and keeps it on the same horizontal column structure on mobile as well. Actually, I don't need to add it to the desktop. I just need to add it to mobile. So I'm just going to deploy my responsive settings, click on the tablet view, and then paste in the display flex wrap, no wrap. And that's, as you can see, that's what it's going to look like on mobile. All right. Now, I'm going to use, this is kind of like a tricky, actually I'm going to pause. I'm not going to add the padding and custom structure to the columns, or I am going to add the padding. Let's just do it. Forget what I said. We're trucking along. Okay, so the padding on desktop. Let's go to the column. So we're going to add some padding to our column. As you can see, it's kind of too close to one another. So I'm going to open up my left column settings. I'm going to go to my padding, my spacing. And on the top, I'm going to add 10 pixels. And on the bottom, 10 pixels. And on the left, I'm going to add 20 pixels. And on the right, I'm going to add 20 pixels. All right, and then on tablet, I'm basically going to leave everything the same except on the right. I'm going to take it down on the right and left. I'm going to take it down to 10 pixels. Again, we need to make sure we have enough room on mobile. All right, so in my advanced tab, so this is a cool trick. If you want to give your columns a custom width, you can do that. So I'm in my column 1 settings here, and if I go to main element, this is not, you don't really have to do this, but I think for this layout it was kind of necessary because I really wanted on mobile to have as much room on the right side for that gallery content. And so since on mobile devices, the default layout structure would kind of go to a 50-50%, I think is what that is. So for my column, my left column, and because I have my row set a gutter width to 1, I don't have to worry about any margins interfering with this width. So I can just set it to width 30%. So, and then I'm going to make sure and add important after it so that it overrides any of the default Divi styling. So now my left column is 30% of the viewport width. And I want to make sure and add that again. I got ahead of myself. I only want to add that to the tablet. So just make sure and have it only in the tablet tab and add the width of 30% on mobile. The phone will inherit the tablet styling there, so we don't have to add it to mobile. I'm sorry, phone. All right, so I'm going to save that out. And real quickly, let's go into the right column here, add the same spacing that we did for the one before it. And I know we haven't gotten to the timeline yet, but this is kind of crucial to making sure everything lines up appropriately. But we'll get there. And I'm going to add let's go to the border. I'm going to add a left border to this column. It's going to add like a little divider. So I'll just add a 2-pixel border. You can see nice little divider there. That color's fine. And let's jump over to the Advanced tab, and let's give it a custom width of 70%. And that should do it. All right, let's jump into our section now. Section settings, I'm going to give it a dark background of 2, and make sure to take out a lot of that padding we don't really need. So let's take out the top and bottom padding, since this will be a sticky heading. Don't want it to take up too much real estate. All right, and then let's go ahead and make it sticky. So I'm going to go to my Advanced tab, Scroll Effects, and under my sticky position, I'm going to put Stick to the Top. And that's it. Now my header, sticky header, is ready to go. All right, now we're ready to create our sticky timeline. So before I do that, I'm going to just jump in and make sure, answer any questions you have, check in on you in the chat here. Hello guys who are just joining us. All right, it looks like no questions yet. You're probably just ready to get to that timeline, so let's go ahead and jump to it. If you are just joining us, I do want to welcome you to this week's Divi Use Case live stream. And today we are currently building a sticky timeline in Divi. And we have created our sticky header here. And now we're about to jump in and design our sticky timeline. So to do that, I'm going to create a new regular section. And before we start adding any rows or content, I'm going to jump into my row settings, take out the top and bottom padding, set it to 0. And let's go ahead and add a new row with this column structure here, which is, I believe, a 1/5, 1/5, 3/5, I hope my math is correct, layout. And the idea is to match the above header row layout so that the two align, so that the timeline lines up nicely with the timeline heading, and the gallery lines up nicely with the gallery heading. All right, so I'm going to actually close that. I'm not going to add a module just yet, but I'm going to jumpstart the design of the row by copying the style of the row above in the header section. So I'm going to copy those row styles and then paste them into this one. And as you can see, my columns are lining up nicely with the above heading, which is what we want. I do want to adjust the row settings a bit, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to add some padding, a little bit more padding. So let's do 50 pixels on the top and bottom of the row. And let's go to the custom CSS, and I want to make sure that the flex no wrap is added there on tablet, which is what we want, and it is, so that's good. Go back to desktop view. Let's save that out. And now we can add our first text module, which will hold our year, the date element of our year, just to kind of give you a preview of what we're looking at. That'll be this one here, the 2020. And we're going from most current to the oldest, from newest to oldest, basically. So we're going to create our first year element. And once we create this section with the rows, it's really a matter of duplicating it and creating other months or years for your content as needed. And I'll show you how to do that. So once we get the first one really set up with all the style elements in place, it's going to be super easy to add more years and months and things like that. All right, so let's add our text module in column 1. And I'm just going to put in the number 2020 for the year. And I always like to deploy my layers view, so I might need it. I'm going to open all of my layers here. And I just want to make sure, and you can see I'm editing that text module in the first column here. All right, so my title font, I'm going to make sure and match it with the Oxygen font. Same one we used in our header. Make it bold, make it uppercase. And for the text size, we're going to do 40 pixels on desktop. And then on tablet, we're going to bring it down to 24. And then on mobile, we'll do 18. And then let's scroll down and do our text alignment. And we want it to align to the right of that column. So that looks good. I'm going to make sure that that stays that way on tablet as well. And so here's a key to this design, everyone. So the sticky position. So this we're going to add to this text element. And to do that, go to Advanced tabs, Scroll Effects, and Sticky Position. So I'm going to add a stick to top. And for the year, I'm going to do a sticky top offset of 50 pixels. And that means it'll have some space above once it's stuck, it's going to still have some space above, so it's not like hugging the top of the browser window. And so for the bottom sticky limit, make sure you can see what I'm looking at. We're going to set it to section. This is the key here because we're going to do something different for the month. We're going to stick it to the row, or add our bottom sticky limit to the row. But for the year, we're going to set it to the section. All right. And let's save it out. Now, for our sticky month, we're going to, copy this module, and we're going to paste it in there. Looks like it's adding, it's jumping down on me for some reason. All right, so I'm going to open up the duplicate here. Since it's our month, I'm going to add an abbreviation for December. And let's go to our text and let's take out the uppercase. And let's go to our sticky option. And instead of, let's go to our scroll effects. Instead of leaving the bottom sticky limit to section, we're going to change that to row. All right. Looking good. And over here in the right column, we're going to, you can add any content you want, but just for this example, we're just going to add an image gallery. And I'm going to add some images to the gallery quickly. Just add these in there. I'm adding 6 images for this example. And if you scroll down, I'm going to make sure the image count is 6 and make sure to take out the title, caption, and the pagination so it's a nice clean design. I'm going to go over to my design tab, and again, we're using the custom gutter width of 1 for our row, and so that's why you don't see any spacing between these images in the gallery. But we can add some very easily with one little snippet here. I'm going to go to my custom CSS, and for the gallery item, I'm actually going to add this. I'm going to paste it in here. It's just some padding. And you can see now I have some space between each of my images or gallery items. And I do want to add some padding to the actual module or around the module as well. So I'm going to go to my design tab, go to padding, and let's, to the left and to the right, let's do 30 or 3%. All right, and just like we did for our, I'm going to actually save it out right now. I'm going to refresh and think that should fix any layout problems I might be having with the Visual Builder. Nope, looks like we still have that weird spacing here. It's probably having to do with the, I'll see what it looks like on the live site real quick. Yeah, on the live site, it's fine. For right now, it's just on the Visual Builder. It's doing something weird. But we'll fix that hopefully as we go. All right, so I'm going to go in my row settings now. I'm going to pull up my layers view again. Because actually what I want to do, just like we did for our heading up here, for our 2 columns structures on mobile, we're going to give them a custom width because we really need to, have, like for example, let's go back to our final design here. If I just want to show you what this looks like on mobile real quick. So if I go to my mobile view, you can see that we really need those left 2 columns to be really small so that we have a lot of room for the gallery on the right side. If not, it would have been like way over here, and that wouldn't have been optimal. So that's why we're having to change the custom or the column width on mobile. So let's do first padding. So I'm going to go to my Visual Builder here. And I'm going to open up the settings for my first column here, the one with the year 2020. And let's give it some padding. So let's do a left of 1% and then a right of 2%. We don't need much, just enough to get it off the edge a bit. Now let's go over to our Advanced tab and add our custom width for our column on tablet. Okay, so we're going to do a width of 15%. Because if you remember, and it's not being represented here because we have some custom code here in this preview, but if you remember our heading, this one, I'm gonna go back to my view, this heading up here, this left side, we gave a custom width of 30. So we're matching that with these 2 columns. So each of these columns will have 15% width, which will equal 30. So it'll match up nicely with the heading above it. Okay. Save that out. Open up column 2 settings. Add the same padding to the left. So left 1%, right 2%, and then the custom width on tablet, we're going to do also 15%. All right, so for our third column, let's open up our third column settings. We are going to add the same padding to the left and to the right of 1% on the left, 2% on the right. And then we're going to, again, adjust our width of this row, which will be, on tablet, will be 70%. So width 70. So if you're new to Divi and you're kind of scared of these custom CSS boxes, you can leave it as is. You would need the flex in the row, the display flex and flex no wrap, but you won't have a lot of space on the right side if you don't adjust the column width. And this layout is available for download in the blog post that was released today. So check out our elegantthemes.com/blog to check that out. And there's also a link in the video description to that blog post. You can grab it, download it, see it for yourself, make tweaks, use it on a next project, whatever you need. All right, so duplicate. Once we're done with that, I'm going to save it out. And I'm going to just get a little preview of it on a live page here. Okay, so everything looks good. Let's take a peek at mobile here. And so we're looking good on mobile as well. So that's what we're looking for. And as you can see, if I scroll down, those elements stay stuck. And it's not until we add the other rows and sections that we'll really see the full functionality. All right, let's jump back to our visual builder. First thing we're going to do is duplicate our row because we want to add more months. So the idea is to add all your months in the section, and then once you added all your months, then duplicate the entire section for another year, if you want another year category or whatever. So let's duplicate this row. And as you can see, there it is down there. And as you can see, when I scroll down, you'll see my month start to move up, but my year stays. But we don't really need a year for this row because it's just a month. So I'm going to go to my text for the year on this duplicate row, and I'm just going to take out the text. Don't need it. And then I'm going to go to my month, and I'm going to change it to November. So there you go. That way our year will stay, but our month will change until we get to the next section we're going to create. In fact, let's just create one more row just for kicks. So I'm going to duplicate that row, and I'm going to update the month for that row. Change it from November to October. There you go. So now I have 3 months under my 2020 year. So now that we have successfully created our first section, if you want to create another year category, let's duplicate the whole section. And that way, when we get down to it, you'll see that that year will move because it is stuck to the top of the section, or the limit is at the section level, not the row. So the months will have a sticky limit to the bottom of each row, and then the year will have a sticky limit to the bottom of each section, which is how we get this functionality. So now all I really need to do is change the year text to 2019. And we can actually create or duplicate that year one more time, or that whole section one more time, to get a 2018 year. And because all our design elements are in place, it will all look great, hopefully, on the live page. So here we go. So now as I scroll down, you'll see my month will change because it's stuck to the row. And then my year will change because it's stuck to each section. All right, so it's looking good. And let's go ahead and take a peek on mobile again. Just to make sure we're looking good on mobile as well. All right. Let's jump in. I know I've been ignoring you for too long, so let's make sure I'm not missing any questions that you might have. Bonsoir, Game 47, welcome. Looks like we are quiet with the questions today. I have never had a live stream without one question, so somebody's gonna have to break the ice before I quit here. I'm just kidding. Just to remind you, to check out our blog post for more information on this use case live stream. And you can, see that blog post here on our blog. And it'll have more information, a step-by-step on how to build it. And of course, this free download, just enter your email address. And of course, if you already have joined to or have subscribed to our email list, it won't resubscribe you or anything. Just enter your email and click download. All right, so one final look at our design here. Okay, open it in a new tab. So here's our final design, our sticky timeline. And let's just wrap it up here. Check one more time in our questions. If there's no questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Awesome. Well, all right, that's all I got for you for this Divi use case live stream. And please be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And make sure to click to get those notifications so that we can let you know every single time we have something new for you. We have a new live stream, things like that. We don't want you to miss out. Also, our next live stream will be this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That is the weekly WP Roundup. And we'll be back here next week, next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern with another Divi use case live stream. All right, so also check out our blog for more information and check the video description for more information, including a way for you to contribute your own unique content to our Elegant Themes blog. So check that out. Thanks again. We look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye, guys.